In the first part of our England episode, trains, buses, balloons, monuments, and all the pomp and ceremony of London. In this one, we travel to a more pastoral setting, one that exudes a noble charm and a sense of mystery. Join us as Asian Air Safari visits the English countryside. As the old saying goes, an Englishman's home is his castle. Not even the Queen of England may enter unless it is with his permission. That is why I felt lucky to be invited to stay in my friend Pete Bish's home. Pete and his wife Elaine live in a refurbished 100-year-old farmhouse in Hungerford, Berkshire County. Gentle rolling hills, wheat fields, grazing sheep, and horses. A flower-eating hare was a regular unwelcome guest in Elaine's garden. A retired air traffic controller, Pete keeps busy running Zebedee Balloon services out of his home.
Joy, I'd like you to see the Zebedee Emporium. You've heard a lot about it.
And got a lot of things from it. Hey, Dick.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. We're having fun so far.
All right, great.
Pete, I didn't realize this place was so big. You've got everything here. And all this stuff, you've just been keeping all the time and just hoping
it's changing all the time. The idea is that we sell it and then replace it with more stuff. We have, as you can see, 3 machines, although in fact that was the very first machine we bought when we started in 1972.
Yes.
Just a single needle Singer, and then from there we progressed to a twin needle and the latest brother.
More baskets and trailers. This is too much.
Well, in fact, this area is 3 things really. We have around the outside on the racking are old balloons which are being stored for the British Balloon Museum and Library.
Wow.
Just come over here because there's a couple of items I think you will recognise.
Okay, this one looks very familiar.
Well, this is how we first started coming to the Philippines with the British Airways balloon in 1991.
Yes, of course, I
and the
remember.
Dante Group operate that, and we keep it here, and we do some regular flying from the UK with it and other places around the world.
Apart from ballooning, Pete also flies airplanes. We fly together every time he visits me in the Philippines.
Joy, I did promise you that I would show you something that is a little bit different, particularly to this part of England.
And what is it?
It's the crop circle.
Oh!
And when they first appeared, it was believed that they were either made by aliens or by effects of the weather. And the effect is that you end up with circular patterns in wheat fields.
Perfect ones, right?
Perfectly round, and they had a tendency of appearing overnight. They've become much more common, and particularly in the county of Wiltshire. It's just down the road, and I believe we'll find some.
We were off to the Jacot farm airstrip, where Pete hangars his plane. Jacot is certainly one of the most unique airfields I've been to. Being an antique piper restorer myself, I was impressed with how Pete did his clipper. The original look, instruments, and details were professionally done.
Pete, this is the original color when they were manufactured?
It's not the original paint, but it's an original
Design.
colour scheme,
Yeah.
original design.
Wow. Spars are wood or metal?
Spars are metal.
Okay. So it's like a cobble already?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Same style?
Yeah.
Yep, same
Moving
style.
tailplane
Right.
on the trim.
Original Scott tail wheel? Or was
Whether it's original, I'm not sure.
Oh, you have the door at the back.
Yeah, so
That's-
there's back door on the left-hand side. For
Yes,
the rear
passengers. Yeah. Any special reason for Bravo India?
Yeah. When the guy that rebuilt it was Ian, so it's GB for Great Britain,
Yes.
Ian and Pete. This is It's reliable, but it doesn't give you the bit that's critical. It's,
Yes.
now it reads nothing in there, but there's half an hour in there at least.
Okay.
So you have to do it on time.
And you've got what, 108 horsepower here?
108, yeah. Lycoming 0235.
Yep.
This was the height of crop circle season in Wiltshire, and Pete knew of some good spots where they were likely to appear. Who knows, we might see some aliens as well. It wasn't long before we spotted our first crop circle. During the early 1970s, unexplained, perfectly symmetrical patterns began appearing in the cornfields of Wiltshire. Speculations that alien beings were behind these symbols began to fly. Others thought they were formed by cyclonic wind action. Long before the crop circle phenomena, Wiltshire County was believed to be the converging point of powerful natural energies. There are several equally mysterious monuments dating back to antiquity found here, such as the 4,000-year-old Silbury Hill, the largest man-made hill in Europe. Originally thought to have been a burial mound, no grave has been found on this ancient site, its purpose unknown. The Wiltshire White Horses, giant figures carved out of the chalk hills during the Saxon times. The Uffington horse, dating back to 1200 BC, is the oldest example. Remains of Iron Age hill forts blend with the medieval towns in seamless fashion. From my point of view, I was viewing a giant map tracing back the breathtaking history of England. Whether you believe that crop circles were made by aliens or by bored university students, they've certainly brought a lot of tourists to Wiltshire, including myself. Back in Pete's home, a traditional English roast dinner was on hand. Roast beef and Yorkshire pudding. I was introduced to Dan Kitty and his wife Norma, who invited us to go on a cruise up the Avon Canal the following day, when Asian Air Safari returns. From viewing ancient monuments from the air, I had another unique experience in store for me. A chance to pilot a canal boat up the Kennet and Avon Canal. Dan operates the Rose of Hungerford, a traditional canal barge or narrow boat. Constructed in the 18th century, the Kennet and Avon Canal stretches 87 miles from Bristol to Reading. It was an important trade and communications route stretching 87 miles from Bristol to Reading. Prior to its construction, the main alternative to road transport of goods between Bristol and London was a hazardous sea route through the English Channel, where many of the small coastal boats fell prey to storms, privateers, and the French Navy. The canal gradually fell into disuse with the opening of the Great Western Railway in 1841. The latter half of the 20th century saw a move to restore the canal to its former glory. After decades of restoration work, it was fully reopened in 1990 by none other than the Queen herself. And which canal boat was chosen to convey Her Majesty? Why, the Rose of Hungerford, of course. Today, the Kennet and Avon Canal is a popular heritage tourism destination for fishing, walking, cycling, and canal boat cruises. I wasn't content with being just a mere passenger though. I wanted to have a go at driving a canal boat. There are over 100 locks in the canal system, allowing boats to travel from one water level to another. I was about to get up close and personal with some 18th century engineering.
Heavy, huh?
Well, you can have your porridge.
10 feet, huh, Pete? To get up from that portion to here, huh? How they thought of this kind of thing. This is a lot of engineering right here. And nowadays, they can do almost an airplane, a car, or anything just by using the computer.
Joy, thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Safe journey home.
Thank you very much for teaching me how to do this.
Nice to see you.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Bye-bye.
cheers then.
After the canal excursion, it was time to leave Hungerford and make my way to Leicestershire County to visit my friend Swift. Swift now runs Stapleford Park, an English country sporting estate where we would be staying for the next few days. Along the way, we saw a few interesting sights, such as an abandoned World War II airfield and the famous university town of Oxford. Stapleford Park was an impressive sight from the air, all 500 acres of it. We landed in Sywell Aerodrome, a general aviation airfield that features an Art Deco hotel.
So we paid by credit card. Any credit card will do in the machine. And now it's time to put fuel.
Hi Joy, how are you? It's been a long time.
Hello.
Welcome to Stapleford Park.
Thank you. I made it.
You made it, you made it.
Very nice place, Swift.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Right, okay Joy, I know it's 9:30 now, so it's quite late, although it's bright outside. And I know you've had a long journey, so I suggest that you settle down in your rooms. We've got some lovely rooms prepared for you. Have dinner, and we'll catch up again in the morning.
Okay.
All right? Wonderful.
See you then.
The following morning, I got to truly appreciate the opulence of my accommodations. Swift has given me the best suite in the manor, and I was eager to see the rest of it.
Morning, Swift.
Morning Joy. You know, it's a beautiful sunny day in Leicestershire.
Yes, I'm lucky.
You're very lucky. Thank you for bringing the sun.
Of course.
Did you have a good night's sleep?
Yes, I did. The bed was very comfortable. Everything was just right.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic. Now, it's a big house. There's a lot of history behind it.
I was getting lost just going for breakfast.
We should have given you a map.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'd like to introduce you to Pam.
Okay.
Pam is the host of the house. She knows more about the house than anybody in the whole area.
Very nice to meet you, Joy.
So Pam will take you for a guided tour of the place.
Okay.
If there's anything that you want to know about it, she will be able to tell you.
Okay.
Okay?
This is our main dining room, the Grinning Gibbons dining room, called after the carvings on the mantelpiece, which were done by a very famous English person called Grinning Gibbons, who was renowned for doing very intricate carving. And the other interesting thing about this room is all the ceiling and the carvings and decoration were all on the floor above when it belonged to the Sherard family. This is the oldest bit of the house that we can date because it's got the date on it saying it was repaired in 1633.
Yes.
So it was older, but it was damaged in a fire. The 6 statues that end are the ones I told you about, which are Abigail's relations, and you can read that William the Conqueror and things underneath them. These are the earlier ones, and the ones with the crossed legs are the gentlemen who've been on crusades. This is a lovely view of the parkland here, which is, and it's just over 500 acres, the parkland here, and it was all laid out by Capability Brown, who was a very famous landscape. You can see from this angle the dates of the different bits of the house, the 2 end bits which were put in about 1780, and the central bit which was what the Grettons added when they put the ballroom in, and the top 2 floors which was all one big room when it was a private house. When the church was built, it was built as the church for the main house, and so it has the chapel design with the pews facing inwards, unlike normal English churches where the pews face the altar at the front. You can see from the thing here, they were very keen on having lots of, showing all their children, and they obviously had lots of children in those days because you can see all the sons and daughters that these people had. And there is a tomb up at the top, was the person that did the repairs for the old wing at the main house. And he's buried here with his wife and all his children, who you can see. Sadly, some of them didn't live very long. This is the inside of the bit of the house with the carvings on the outside, so it's got all the old panelling, hence all the fire doors, which make it difficult when you're showing guests around. And this door is actually just a cupboard. It's not the staff sauna and jacuzzi, sadly, but
They wish.
you can see it, but whether it will come out with the camera is that somebody's carved their name. William Palmer in 1828 and E. Gibson in 1831.
It is a nice pool.
It is, and it was very cleverly put onto the house because it doesn't detract from the architecture. You can still get here in your dressing gown from the bedrooms and look out onto the garden.
Right.
But when you're outside, it doesn't look too out of place.
Doesn't change the
No,
whole setting.
no.
What about furniture? I see so many old cabinets, old tables, old chairs.
Yes.
Are they original from your time? Or
Some of them are. Some of the bits belong to the Gretton family, and they have allowed us to store for them here, which is lovely to have them in their original settings. And this is the library where the bar is. When Bob Peyton opened the house as a hotel, he was very keen that it should remain as much like a house as possible, and have the hotel speak to a minimum. So this is very much the library where the bar is, and we don't have a restaurant, we have a dining room, and we have a drawing room rather than a lounge and things. And as befits an old house with so much history as it's had, it's nice that it still retains the atmosphere and as being a house and a home rather than a hotel.
yes.
Guests can choose from 55 individually designed bedrooms at Stapleford Park, each one with its very own personality. Stapleford Park guests also have access to nearby stables and a polo field. Shrift and I share a passion for horses and airplanes. We met when I purchased this old Cessna 172 in Brunei. We have kept in touch ever since. I was glad Pete and Elaine were here with me for some serious R&R. I needed to get some serious practice at this game of English bowls. Over tea at the patio, Shrift detailed his plans for the following day. A bit of horseback riding and clay shooting. He also suggested I get a chance to take in the surrounding countryside Stapleford style. Coming up on Asian Air Safari. With a full day of country pursuits lined up for me, I needed the proper kit. A shopping trip into town was in order.
Swift has been kind enough to lend me a car so that I can go around the countryside in style. A brand new Range Rover. Looks very different. And a Vogue at that. TDV8. I guess they haven't changed the style. Still the trunk the way it was made in the past. Very nice. Nice interior. Huh. The panel is something else. If I haven't started it, I see a nice blue sky. Keys are not needed with this new style vehicles. Just step on the brakes, start the engine.
A Range Rover is the ultimate accessory for the English countryside.
Driving this car is almost better than flying an old airplane. Leather smells so good. Even the modern airplanes cannot carry as much leather because it becomes heavier. And the colors they've chosen is just right. I think it fits my personality. Black and white. Well, here in the countryside, the horses have the right of way. I don't want to spook the horses.
This landscape was the domain of a Range Rover. It just felt like it belonged here.
Swift invited me to go riding with him tomorrow. I think I have to get the proper clothing.
This was something I normally don't see at home. An entire store devoted to all things horses.
Best thing about going into this stack shop is the smell of this leather. Ah, so many saddles to choose from. I don't think I can afford to bring one home today, but I always enjoy looking and figuring out how much I have to save or how many piggybacks I have to break to be able to afford one of these. Well, with the proper outfit, I'm ready to go horseback riding.
Hey Joy, how are you?
Horses are ready, yeah?
Hi Neil. Hi there. Joy. Morning, how are you?
Good morning.
Riding through Stapleford Park, I felt like I was transported back to the 18th and 19th century, when British gentry would entertain heads of state and royalty in grand estates such as this.
After this, what we're going to do is we're going to go and do some shooting.
Okay,
We'll get to see how good a shot you are.
you're my instructor.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's
let's go.
go. Joy, we're coming here to another part of the estate where we do a bit of shooting.
Okay.
So I'm going to introduce you to our Director of Field Sports, Malcolm. I'd like to introduce you to Joy.
Thank you.
Well, you come to try a bit of shooting then.
We'll give it a try.
Okay, are you right-handed?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. It is empty while I show you for a start. So basically, forefinger free for working the trigger.
Yes.
Left hand on the forend, that's pretty well there, that controls all the movement. Your left foot slightly ahead of your right.
Okay.
Gun tucked in your shoulder. Raise your elbow, that locks him into your shoulder. Come on then. Right, that's live now. Here we go. Whoa! You're that glad you got the first one. You can always have it. Where's the other one?
What about you?
There you go. I'll give it a shot.
And I learned from you.
Well, you all have bad habits.
So Malcolm, thank you very
You
much.
enjoyed that, sir? Good.
Very much. And I've learned a new thing about shooting again. I hope next time we will win against the Plume.
Until then, stick to the day job.
Okay. Will do. Well, what do you think, sis?
Well done, not too bad. I mean, I
Was
tried
nice.
it myself and clearly I need a bit more practice. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's come along.
Never imagined I can have such a great time over here. Every time I visited England before was for Farnborough or for Cameron balloons. And this is the best time I've ever had here.
Well, Joy, I thank you for making the time to come up to visit us at Stapleford Park and for me to show you a glimpse of what life is like in the English country estate. We've done quite a few things today with the horse riding, the shooting, and to show you the beautiful gardens that we have over here. I hope you'll come back soon and I hope you go away with some fond memories of Stapleford Park.
I'm hoping that you can get that airfield and I want to see you flying again.
Well, definitely. So, thank you for that. Thank you for coming.
Okay, it was indeed a very good trip.
England, it really is all it's made out to be. The history, the culture, the mystique. But it is the people that keep me coming back. People who know how to enjoy the more refined things in life. Like a spot of tea in the afternoons, or a proper pint at the local pub. Warm, welcoming, and always bursting with enthusiasm and passion in the things they do. England will always be extraordinary for me. The short visit was like reading the first few pages of a good book. You are excited because you know there is a lot more in store. I am already planning for my next trip back.
This has been your captain, Joy Roa. See you in our next Asian Air Safari.